So a new interface, generally this is an editor. We call this as a fluid editor. So the fluid editor opens up, and within this we'll see the main page ID is called search. We don't need to change it. And now in this if we scroll down, we will see within the overview page schema, under the section, there are already two UIBBs defined. So if we investigate these UIBB, we'll see that one UIBB is for the criteria and the other one is for the result. So we will require these UIBBs, and so I think let's go back to this application again, because and into this, so again I'll open the section, and the first thing is let's they come with a template definition, the config ID, because we copied the standard template. So we will change the name of these config IDs, and so first we can go to the edit mode, and within the edit mode, so instead of calling this as so let's call this as ZZ USMD search dQuery, and let's remove this template and let's replace this with our model name. So the name becomes ZZ USMD search dQuery and ZA. Similarly, for the second UIBB, we will similarly enter a new name, which is ZZ USMD search result. We will remove this template and replace it with the model number, which is ZA. So don't worry about these error, and for the time being. And then let's select the first one, the criteria, and go to the configure UIBB. So the system needs to save this data. We'll say yes. So make sure that the UI configuration naming convention according to our requirement is done. Then we say local object, and now the system needs the assignment of the feeder class. So in a standard UI, you have the feeder class for the search application, which is called USMD search GUI BB dQuery. So let's select this feeder class USMD search GUI dQuery, say OK, and now the system needs the feeder parameters. The first one is the component name, and the component name is the name of the general model that we saw earlier. And then there is another component which is called dynamic query name. So like we saw in the earlier structure, there is a so this location, we'll keep this in capital letter. So we enter the dynamic query location and ZSPZA. This is the name of our data model. So with this entry of the general representation and the parameter, so we say OK, and we don't need to enter the other parameters for the time being, and we don't need to change those parameters. And now we see we reach a screen where we see a previewed for the search application. And the first thing is I may see the different search name, and this is the layout itself is a filter layout. So in the general settings you may need to change the layout from filter bar to, so this is what we are used to. And uh, use let's limit this, so we don't require a search criteria. We may require a name and the country key. So uh, we'll keep name and the country key, and rest of the attributes can be removed from the search application. So if I go here, I'll press delete, and we have and further I can then move this name as the first object, and after this, so like we can also change the country region. So if we see on the right hand side, we can remove this region code and keep it only the country key. And once we say that yes, this criteria looks okay to us, and we can then save this configuration. And let's return back to the previous page after we are done with this. So we are back into the original page. Original means the previous screen. And now let's select the result UIBB, and so make sure that this, and here also we will require a feeder class name. So the feeder class, the standard SAP feeder class is CL USMD search GUIBB result. So it comes automatically in your drop down list. You can make a search. So again the feeder class parameters will be required, and we know from our general model description we can enter the component name, and the name of our object type is location, and we call this as editable, and then we enter this. So for the second result UIBB, we have created a configuration ID, and so we see that this preview may look a bit messy. So we may clean up this with certain quick actions, like instead of so many columns, you may decide to limit this, like for example, if I select all of them, so I will need to select, so let's say location is not required, description is not required, city is not required, and so in this search UIBB, let's clean this up, so we don't require so many columns to be represented as part of the search result. So we'll remove this, and we'll keep a pending change request, and so let's keep only the few of them, which is basically the pending change request, the name of the city, country, and then the name. So let's keep this 4 columns, and the rest of them we can delete. So we see a reduced list, and so like we did earlier, we can then use this button, move it up, and we can define where we want to put this name, city. So if I want to move this to the column 2, then I can select country and then press, so the column. Now I can also change the description of this column. So which means remove the country and press enter. So sorry, this we don't want to, so let it get processed. So like this, so we can go to the toolbar schema, and here again we'll see there are so many action buttons. So let's keep only one, which is the new. And so in this toolbar schema, so let's wait for the page to get oh, so we get a connection lost, and so quickly I'll do a reconnection. So in a demonstration system sometimes this happens. So we'll do a re-login. And here we can see again we are back into the same screen. Like so I said that we don't require these all these headings, all these buttons. So we can select all elements and keep the one that is required and delete all other buttons. So in the context of our example, now we see a much cleaner preview with only new button and the 3 column names. So pending change request, name, country key and city. And then let's save this application. Now let's select the other part, which is so let's come back to the OVP screen. After we save this setting, we come back to the OVP, and within this OVP, so let's go to, so both our UIBBs are now configured, and now we can go to a wire schema to build the relationship between the two UIBBs. So here we see on the right hand side, and first make sure that yes, we are in the change mode, and let's select the component name, and in the config ID ZZUSMD search ZA, and so if I scroll down, so first let me do a proper selection of the wire. So with this when I select this wire, so I get this template definition. Now let's replace this with the actual configuration, and the source configuration will be the definition of the other UI configuration.